Heavy metal rock.
Global mind.
Once we found the spark in us, enough to let us survive. Rise up and illuminate. Give way to journeys. A bright future's history. Children and tomorrowland. Sweet dreams shine so silvery in a newfound glory. How can all these dreams prevail?
I'm Robert Cavuto, and today on My Global Mind, we are speaking with powerhouse vocalist Ambre of Xandria to discuss the band's new album, The Ones Are Still Awaiting, which will be released on February 3rd. Excellent album, and congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. You have a tremendous voice, and the songs are sung with such passion that you really bring them to life.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah. Is it a dream come true to front Xandria?
Yeah, for sure. I loved Xandria even back then when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it makes it even better. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me a little about, your musical background and the passion for symphonic music.
Mm-hmm. So I was singing for a long time now, since I'm a child even.
Mm-hmm.
I was in choirs, I did some musicals throughout the school time and on the side. And at some point when I was around 11 years old, I discovered Symphonic Metal with Nightwish and Within Temptation.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love immediately and never went back.
Wow.
I just developed it into many other metal genre, like it all nowadays. But yeah, I started like this. I started loving metal like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always singing, and then I started taking vocal lessons with vocal coaches to develop what I was learning on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Like the screams also, I just tried out on my own, and it kind of worked. So I felt like I needed to build a better base for it, and to do it in the best way possible, and to develop it. So yeah, since then I haven't stopped.
And you do a tremendous job at it, so you could definitely tell the passion and your heart is in it. You're new to the band, and tell me a little about the audition process. What was involved and how you were discovered by them?
So actually I knew Marco from before.
Okay.
The band also, but and during their break we started working on a possible project together, just to have a breath of fresh air, do something different without boundaries. And he actually started to have ideas for Xandria already during the break. Mm-hmm. And he already wanted to do something a little bit different, meaning not having operatic vocals anymore, but being more open and diverse. So it kind of had my voice in mind already when having those ideas, because we were working on a little bit different things. It was a bit more heavy, a little bit black metal, symphonic kind of things. And so actually he really liked my voice also on the new ideas. So then he asked me, of course, if I wanted to join the band, and I said yes without hesitation.
So he was actually creating some songs maybe with your voice in mind, would you say that?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what he has told me, so yeah.
That's awesome. How about, Xandria has had a significant number of singers. How do you find your own unique voice, your own unique style and personality, and bring it to the band and the album?
That's a good question. The good thing is that I'm sounding different than all of the other singers.
You do?
Of course, all of them sounded different from each other, but the two last ones were in the operatic mainly vocal style. And I'm a little bit closer maybe to Lisa, if you would say this, but I bring, of course, more diversity, I would say. Mm-hmm. because I love it so much to be diverse and to incorporate as many colors, which goes along with emotions. For me, colors are emotions. I cannot sing a full song in classical, operatic vocals. I need other expression ways to do it. So I think that that's the difference with me, and it's a little bit easy to bring my own personality with that, because it's just natural to me to sing. I love the pop voice more, so of course I love to focus on this, but I love to sing more ethereal, a bit more operatic also. I always loved it. I love to scream, growl, the harsh vocals. So in that, maybe it's more my personality. So that was coming naturally in the songs also, because Marco was free to do whatever he liked, whatever he wanted to do, and he told me that the voice could follow this. So it was working naturally together really well.
That's great. Yeah, and you did a tremendous job on it.
Thank you.
Were you involved in the lyric writing at all for this? I know you mentioned that he had songs designed for you, Marco, but did he have lyrics written out?
We actually shared it, so almost half-half. So yeah, we both wrote on it.
Okay. What song would be have your biggest imprint on it?
Paradise.
Great song.
The lyrics are, I wrote them. It's about nature and how mankind is destroying it. And also the music, when he started having the idea, I immediately felt that more like a little bit gothic side of me, from Paradise Lost, for example, the beginning, the 90s, Paradise Lost, and Marco is a fan also. So when I said that, he was absolutely on board with it. And I wanted extremely melancholic. And just by telling him this, he wrote this song and did a very Greg McIntosh solo in their very Paradise Lost solo. I loved it. So yeah, this song, I think it's yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
I would say this one.
That's fantastic. No, I have to go back and listen to that now again and really put your thoughts to it and hear it out.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, of course.
With Xandria being the Symphonic Metal, what's the demo process like? Does Marco send you something with guide vocals? Does he send you just the music? Is it with all the instrumentation? How elaborate does it get, and what's your involvement from that point on?
Oh yeah, very interesting question. On this album, I was sitting with him, next to him a lot of the time, so that was really convenient.
Yeah.
And on this one, for the first time, he was already putting a lot of orchestral details in the demos, which was fantastic. We were really close already to hearing how it's going to sound. And our orchestral arrangement guy did it from that, and he was building it, of course, to make it even more big and epic. So it was wonderful, but the demos were already really advanced. And I know that because we had so much time, also with the pandemic, everything was just not moving forward in the business. So we had a lot of time to just focus on the song and not think about anything else, and building demos at a point where if you had a 2-year cycle where you had to deliver an album, for example, you might not have time to put as much details. But really, he was working on the details very, very much. And the vocal lines also, he always came up. I was also coming up with some ideas here and there, but he always had the better ones. So he was just having the guide, and then we were recording, like we call them dummy lyrics.
Yes.
We were writing whatever
come to
our
mind. Yes.
And singing it. So yeah, the demos were lyric-wise ridiculous, but very advanced already. So that was the first, and interesting to work with this.
At that point, does the demo stay true to what we're hearing now, or is there significant changes and differences between the demo version and the real final product?
Very good question. What changed, I'm going to say, it's not so much from demo to final result, but more among the demos themselves. For example, there was a few songs that we changed quite a lot, even a few times.
Wow.
Because we always felt that it could be better. And some songs were a little bit older in the process, and The ideas, some were a little bit maybe. Ghost, for example, it started a little bit more heavy. It was mainly growl song, mainly harsh vocals on it.
Yeah.
Because it started this way. It was because it was back then when we felt just free to do what we wanted. We did not have any business plan when we started with the ideas. It was just free. We put our influences and what we loved. So some songs went into a direction a little bit more heavier because we have a lot of death metal influences, Marco and me.
Yes.
So we changed those quite a lot, but for the better. Never because it was, okay, no, we should not do that. Because we felt like it could be better. So yeah, but from demos to final result, not that much anymore actually. It just got better because the orchestral arrangement and the choir, children's choir, the real instrument from Ali, the cello, the violin and the Celtic instrument made it more organic and sounding more epic.
Oh, that's a really interesting and insightful way to look at it, you know. Now, you have such a powerful voice and tremendous grace.
Thank you.
My two favorite songs, Two Worlds and The Wonder Still Awaits, the title track.
Two Worlds is also one of my favorites.
Oh, good.
I just posted in a story because it's released tomorrow.
Oh.
We have a video for it.
Oh, wow,
And I
okay.
just wrote, it's one of my favorite songs of the album.
I'll make sure to put it in with the, the little bit of the review and the history of our discussion, and then
Thank you.
I'll make sure that's in there. You know,
Thank you.
They're very powerful songs, as I mentioned, and they're not easy. I'm not a singer, but they're not easy to sing. What's the training or conditioning of your voice? What did you have to do to get your voice to be able to sing that? And did you break it up? Did you do the verses? Did you do the choruses first? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, the studio is, I think, one of my favorite things. Touring I also enjoyed very much because I don't like staying in one place for too long, but the studio is maybe my favorite part of it all, actually.
Wow.
And of course we did it separately, every part, sometimes sentence after sentence.
Wow.
Because they require a lot and I want to be able to focus on each line. Especially emotion-wise, it was very important that I could focus on the emotion of each part, because that is for me the whole expression of the vocals. You have to put your expression, you have to put emotions into it. So yeah, we did it very separately like this.
Wow.
Part by part, sentence by sentence. Sometimes 3 words only because they are the ending and I need to put my full power, and of course some notes I need to hold them for very, very long, and I could not sing the whole sentence that came before.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible. So yeah, it's you are free to record the way you want it, to have the best result, to not sound tired, to not sound like you're running out of air, that you're running out of passion and force into it. You know, you have to end up a sentence on strong, energized notes, and yeah. So that was fantastic to be able to do that.
You wouldn't have known that from listening to it. It's just one perfect cohesive unit. It's fascinating.
That's great.
It's fascinating to hear what goes on behind the scenes to get that done correctly.
I love to know this also from other bands.
Yeah. So what do you do now when you have to go perform live and you got to bang these songs out in its entirety?
Yeah, that requires a strong warm up, meaning that I have to focus on the different styles. I have to make sure I warm up all the sides of it, so meaning make sure that the head voicey classical parts work well, are very open, and nothing is feeling wrong. At the same time, I gotta make sure that the chest voice and the power, but the lower notes sounds full, and the screams needs to also be open, but at the same time having enough all that works in the body for it. So it's not easy. Sometimes I can get stressed because if I focus on one thing and I realize that at some point in the day the other thing doesn't work as well. Yeah. So then I got to go back to this. I spend the day going back and forth a little bit here and there. I don't do that too extreme. Nothing has to be extreme for it to work well. But yeah, you have to constantly make sure that everything is flowing well when you changes between so many different styles.
Yeah. What about stamina on stage to be able to, like you said, breathe, use your different vocal techniques and strengths, and then to be able to entertain the audience and run around? Tell me about that. That's got to be challenging.
Yeah,
you're not just standing still, you know, you're not up there with just one mic.
Yes. I'm always grateful for adrenaline. That is doing much more than you might even think that I knew before.
Yeah.
It's even some songs, some parts sometimes because they're quite high, and sometimes I don't necessarily want to go in full chest voice belting, and it can be tiring. So I choose another path. I choose a little bit softer vocals, which works really well in symphonic metal, so it's okay. But live I realized that because of the adrenaline, I was hitting those notes in chest without even meaning to it.
Right,
so
right.
It's pushing you. It's giving you strength. You don't think about anything else, body pain, things, some days you just don't feel so well, but yeah, so it allows you to go a little bit more crazy and to do things that normally you would not think you would be capable of doing.
That's fascinating. Incredible, yeah. It's I think people forget that your voice is an instrument, and unfortunately it's your body. And you break a string and you replace it on your guitar, and you break a drum head or a drumstick, you replace it, but your voice is totally you, and you can't break it. So yeah, I understand it. From what I've read, you speak 4 different languages: Greek, French, German, and English. Which is the easiest to sing in?
I don't speak German yet.
Oh, okay.
I understand a little bit from living there, but it's taking its time to it's hard. But English is the best. To sing in, to talk in even.
Wow.
Now for me, yeah, I mean, I'm born in France, but I haven't talked French in very long, or for only short period of time when I go back to see my family. So English has become easier for me.
Okay. While we're speaking and trying to understand your dialect, it almost sounds like Doro Pesch from Germany, the Scorpions, who I've interviewed. So I was thinking you almost had a German, and now when you're mentioning it, I could hear more of the French. So
interesting, yeah, I think I have a French accent.
yeah, it's interesting, yeah. So it's just being in New Jersey, everybody says we have an accent from the rest of the United States, but yeah, it's just interesting to hear these diverse and interesting, fascinating, accents. So
yeah.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciated speaking with you. The album is fantastic.
Thank you.
You have a crazy, beautiful voice. So good luck with you and the album. I wish you the best.
Thank you. It was really lovely.
Well, have a great day, okay?
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Heavy Metal Rock. Global Mind.